Sup, you fucking nerds? It's me, again. So today, I figured I'd be talking about just some draft stuff, how I think the picks will affect said teams, and I'm gonna do maybe a few of these before the draft. I'm not sure. So today, I'll mainly be talking about uh, how Cade Cunningham will affect the Pistons and what he can bring to the table for that team, what he can do for them, etc., etc. So everyone saying that the Pistons are not going to be taking Cade Cunningham is fucking stupid, and they don't know what they're talking about. The Pistons are going to be taking Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State with the first overall pick. He's the clear number one pick, and I don't see who else they would take. Maybe Mobley if they were at two, but because they're at one, it's Cade. So Cade is the next superstar. He is the next guy. He is the next person, if that makes any sense. He's a really good three-point shooter, really good playmaker, fair enough defender. He does basically everything well. And that's going to be great for the Pistons, and I think, honestly, the Pistons could be a play-in team next year. I'm just going to leave this take here, come back to it next season. I think they're going to be a play-in team with Cade, Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey. They have very good pieces. Killian Hayes could come along. He was drafted 7th overall for a reason. He never really got the chance to show what he could do this season, but I think next season he certainly has a chance to. And between what I think the starting lineup should be of Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Isaiah Stewart, I think that with internal improvement could be a play-in team. And especially in the Eastern Conference where it's a little weaker of a competition to get into said play-in tournament. And I think that with Cade, he's a floor raiser to the point where he can bring a lot of these players to get easier shots, to just become better. And I think Sadiq Bey will get better. I think Isaiah Stewart will improve. I think Jeremy Grant will become more comfortable as a second option to Cade. And I think he'll still average around 18 to 20 points a game on decent efficiency. He was really good this season, and there's no indicators that he will be any worse next season. Maybe statistically wise, just because he's getting less shots. But outside of that, I think he'll actually be better and more comfortable this season. I think Killian Hayes is a bit more of a question mark, but I think that he'll be fine. I think that as far as the bench goes, maybe they'll bring back Saban Lee because I think he's a free agent. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Josh Jackson was very solid for them. They have some decent pieces there. I think they're a decent enough free agency destination for role players or younger guys who are still trying to find footing in the league. I really like Hamidou Diallo for them. I think that if they bring him back, he'll be a great sixth man for them. I really like what he does off the bench. I think that they have a pretty bright future. And this season, I wouldn't be surprised if Sadiq Bey comes in, averages about 15 to 16 points a game, is their third option, shoots the ball very well because he is a fantastic shooter. I wouldn't be surprised if Cade comes in, averages about 17, 6, and 6. That's about my expectations for him on decent enough efficiency. Jeremy Grant, I wouldn't be surprised if he averages about 18 to 20, as I said, on decent efficiency. Isaiah Stewart, he's going to be a walking double-double. You guys aren't ready for beef stew. I really like the pieces that this team has. Troy Weaver has done a fantastic job building this team. I like talking to a lot of Pistons fans too, so I've been keeping a little bit of a closer eye on them than some teams. They're like my favorite Eastern team, second favorite behind the Magic probably, and I really like what the future holds for them. I think that with Cade, they are going to be Detroit basketball again. It'll be great for the league to have them be good again for the first time since like Chauncey Billups and Sheed and Ben Wallace and all of them. and that'll be very entertaining to watch. I will be sure to tune in to all of their games. Not all of them, but the first couple, and I will be watching them more than, a lot of the other teams. Then, with Jalen Green most likely going to the Rockets or Evan Mobley, it's kind of up in the air, but I just saw a tweet that they have not worked out with Evan Mobley or Jalen Suggs, so I think they're going to go with Jalen Green. He is a fantastic scorer. He is a good off-ball threat, a good on-ball threat. He can do everything scoring-wise. KPJ has become more of a point guard, which I wouldn't have anticipated with him coming into the league because he was more of a spot-up guy, or seen as more of a spot-up guy. But he has legit playmaking. He has legit ball handling. Like, he is a legit point guard. He can play that, no problem. He's very good at it. He is a very good player. He shows flashes to be a great player someday. Christian Wood is a very good scorer, very good scoring big man, great role partner, good pick and popper. They have fewer pieces than the Pistons that I'm infatuated with, but they still have a lot of decent guys. I have no fucking clue what they're going to do with John Wall. That'll be funny as hell to see if they try and roll some three-guard lineup out with, like, John Wall, KPJ, Jalen Green, or something like that. That would be interesting to see because they're all... John Wall's very ball dominant. KPJ at his best is on ball, in my opinion. Jalen Green can kind of do a little bit of both. Same with KPJ, but I like him more with the ball in his hands just because I want him to develop into a better, on-ball guy. Jayshawn Tate, I think, is kind of overrated. He's not fantastic, and he's already like 25, 26. Like, he is not going to get that much better from what he is. He's a good role player, but Rockets fans talk about like he's going to be some good starter caliber player when he's ideally going to be a bench guy for some contender someday. Like, I don't really get the hype with him. They mismanaged the James Harden trade a lot, but it's whatever. So, yeah. Those are the first two picks and what I think will happen with them. So, yeah, I think I might cover the other picks in another video, but those are what I think will happen with Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green, respectively, going to the Pistons and the Rockets, or at least that's what I anticipate will happen. So, yeah, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe, like, whatever, YouTube stuff.